Well, hi friends, welcome to part 2. And I know I don't have my partner here right now, but here's some food for thought. There are approximately 7 billion people in the United States. And think about this. If they don't have a solid foundation to stand on, they're all deceived. I mean, think about that. If they don't have something solid to stand on, they can be easily deceived, and they are deceived. Does that make sense? Well, watch, and we'll talk about it with Chris.
Last point on this first point is that we should approach all ideas, all theories in the same manner. This is approach for anyone approaching any subject really, and including you're approaching the Book of Mormon or the Quran, any of those things. You can approach those in the same way, to where I don't. So you should approach whatever it is in the same manner. Be a seeker, and truth isn't afraid of being investigated or being scrutinized. It's and it doesn't need to keep secrets. Truth is not secretive.
Oh, that's an interesting point. We could go down a rabbit hole with that.
Yeah. So everything I believe, I'm willing to reveal it. Yeah. And part of that thing is that back to some things don't seem to add up initially. Yeah. But if somebody were to press on, then I think in most cases they would come to a lot of the same conclusions.
And I had a thought, because when you talked about the truth isn't hidden, it's not secretive. Think about the world in which we're living in. We have all different types of religions and spiritual, and there are those entities, whatever you want to call them, that things are done in secret. They're done in secret. And the truth is light. Real truth has light. And in the end, whatever is hidden is going to be revealed anyway. But, think about that and the path that you take. Are you seeking after something to fulfill you in a faith, in your walk, that is leading you into some type of secrecy? Like there's secret things that can't be revealed, that are only for certain people and certain levels.
The initiates.
Yeah.
The initiates. Only the initiates get to indulge in the secrets.
The full truth.
The full truth, yeah.
So, that's a discussion for another day,
yeah.
But
that's problematic right there.
Yeah.
So ready for the next point? This is point number 2, I guess.
Number 2.
Actually, these are kind of combined. I'm going to combine them into one. So the point number 2, you are under the influence and should be distrustful of self.
I'm under the influence and I should be distrustful of myself. Okay, so I have to be the advocate here.
Okay.
So why would I be distrustful of myself? And whose influence am I under? My own?
Well, no.
Okay. Oh, okay. I thought I was under my own influence.
You're under the influence of others. Right?
Okay.
I mean, if you go back to your childhood, or go back even further to your birth, or even before that, before you were born, you were under influences. And as we're growing into childhood, adolescent, we're being taught, and we're just absorbing and learning, and our limited understanding isn't sufficient to always. I mean, I guess there's exceptions to that, but it's not fully capable of like really analyzing, critiquing. Critical thinking is something that's, I mean, it's not done these days. Critical thinking.
Interesting. And then when you say we're under the influence, if you think about that, if we're under the influence of, say, our parents They don't know the Lord, and there's that constant. I mean, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, so whatever we're taught, we're taught. So if we're taught, if we don't know the Bible, if we don't know God, we're already influenced from birth, from childhood. Whatever that's what you mean, right? The
Yeah,
influences of
absolutely.
our circumstances and,
Yeah.
and our childhood, and
We get schooling, we get education.
yeah, we get indoctrinated.
And then as you grow old enough to kind of discern, you have a little bit of discernment because you're learning. All these networks in your or all these neurons in your brain are forming networks, right? And they're you're growing more intelligent, more capable of critical thinking, and you have more experiences, and then you start to realize it's like, well, some of the things I believed were in error.
Oh yeah.
And then I'm seeing how, why it was in error, and I'm seeing the actual, at least a better truth. And so even as you grow older, as you grow closer to 30, well, it's what frontal cortex is still growing up until you're about 30.
Yeah.
So, and then you're still realizing that, you're learning new things that disprove old things. So it just goes, everyone has experienced this.
Yes.
No one avoids, so then the question should be, wait a minute, how much do I believe that is actually in error?
Yeah, and how much is in truth? Truth versus error. It kind of changes your whole reality when you start realizing.
Right. And just so we're clear, there's good influences that have been over us since childhood, and there's negative influences or deceptive influences.
Yes.
So I put a note here that says you need something to rely upon outside of yourself and those around you.
Yeah.
So without something to rely upon, you just have 7 billion plus people that are all easily deceived, right?
Yeah. What are they relying on?
Yeah. And they get to a point, many people get to a point where they feel like they're so confident in themselves that they're not going to very well see the error of their ways.
That was me at one time. I was confident in myself. Yeah, I fall into that. Absolutely.
Yeah. And
not having that inherent truth, that foundation, that rock, something to stand on. We are created to stand on that rock, that truth, that word. And when we don't have it, that's an issue.
Third point.
Okay.
Kind of got through that one pretty
quickly. That was good.
All right. So this is interesting.